John Brown, 1800 to 1859, was a significant figure in American history, known for his militant abolitionism and his belief in the use of armed insurrection to overthrow the institution of slavery in the United States. Born on May 9, 1800, in Torrington, Connecticut, Brown was raised in a deeply religious family with strong anti-slavery beliefs. His father, Owen Brown, was a fervent abolitionist, and these principles deeply influenced John Brown throughout his life. Brown married twice and had a total of 20 children. He struggled with financial instability for much of his life, working at various times as a tanner, surveyor, and wool merchant. Brown was deeply affected by the violence and injustice of slavery. He believed that peaceful abolitionism was ineffective, and that the only way to end slavery was through armed conflict. He was involved in the Underground Railroad and helped to establish the League of Gileadites, an organization aimed at protecting escaped slaves from being captured. Brown gained national attention during the Bleeding Kansas crisis in the mid-1850s, a violent conflict between pro-slavery and anti-slavery settlers in the Kansas Territory. In 1856, in response to the sacking of the abolitionist town of Lawrence, Brown and his followers killed 5 pro-slavery settlers in what became known as the Pottawatomie Massacre. This act was part of the escalating violence in the region and polarized public opinion on Brown. Brown's most famous action was his raid on the Federal Armory at Harper's Ferry, Virginia, now West Virginia, in October 1859. He aimed to seize the armory's weapons, distribute them to slaves, and start a widespread slave uprising. However, the raid failed. Brown and his men were quickly surrounded by local farmers, militia, and U.S. Marines led by Colonel Robert E. Lee. After the failed raid, Brown was captured, tried for treason against the Commonwealth of Virginia, murder, and inciting a slave insurrection. He was found guilty and hanged on December 2, 1859. His execution further polarized the nation and made him a martyr to the abolitionist cause. John Brown remains a controversial figure in American history. He is hailed by some as a heroic martyr who fought valiantly against the evils of slavery, while others view him as a fanatic and a murderer. His raid on Harper's Ferry is often cited as a catalyst for the American Civil War. Brown's actions were driven by his strong religious convictions and belief in the moral wrongness of slavery. He saw violent insurrection as a righteous and necessary response to the injustice of slavery. John Brown's radical approach to ending slavery and his willingness to use violence distinguished him from many of his contemporaries in the abolitionist movement. His life and actions continue to be the subject of significant historical interest and debate. The Good Lord Bird is a 2020 American historical drama miniseries based on the 2013 novel of the same name by James McBride. Focusing on John Brown's attack on American slavery, the series was created and executive produced by Ethan Hawke and Mark Richard. Produced by Jason Blum through Blumhouse Television, it premiered on October 4, 2020 on Showtime.